We have an interesting story for you right now. Many of us believe that gang violence is old news. You know about it. It's in the inner cities. It's about drugs. That's not accurate. There's a whole world of violence out there that puts kids in suburbs at risk. We want to tell you this story of this one mother from Maryland. She did everything she could to protect her son from bullies. Turned out they were gang members, and just a block from their home, her son met a fate that even his mother could never have imagined. She tells a cautionary tale now, and here's ABC's Yunji Denise with that story.
The all-American boy, he loved playing football, hockey, soccer, baseball.
He was the light of my life.
Chris Jones was at that point in life when a boy starts becoming a man, but his mom, Jenny, was always nearby.
He was 14, but he was a young 14. He was a mama's boy.
And when she wasn't there, she was just a text message away. There was a reason for the constant contact. Jenny says Chris had had some trouble with boys in the neighborhood and had been threatened at school.
I talked to him every half an hour. Literally every half an hour, to the point where he was feeling suffocated by me because I wanted to make sure that I knew where he was every minute of every day.
Saturday, May 30th was no exception. Jenny went to a nearby pool while Chris headed out to ride his bike in this picturesque Maryland suburb. Then around 4 o'clock, she sent him a text, then called, but he didn't respond.
I kind of just felt uneasy. I heard sirens. I called again. I heard an ambulance.
I need someone here now. Please, you cannot breathe.
Just blocks away, police say 6 neighborhood boys surrounded Chris on his bike, viciously attacking him. 2 punched him over and over again.
The witnesses that saw him said that he continued to pedal as he was unconscious until he fell and hit his head on the street.
His wounds were severe, and he was bleeding from everywhere. I knelt down, I started telling him to hang on, help was on the way. I grabbed his hand to hold it.
He was just trying to get home.
Trying to make it home. And while this was happening, I was texting him. His phone was probably buzzing in his pocket.
Paramedics rushed Chris to the hospital, but it was too late.
I begged them to put him on life support, and they did. But he was already dead. He wasn't coming back. So my daughter came into the room and said, "Mom, let him go."
16-year-old Havel George and a 14-year-old who police are not identifying have been charged with Chris's murder. How violent was this crime?
This crime was violent enough that it took Christopher Jones's life. You can't get any more violent than that.
His attackers were more than schoolyard bullies. Police say they were gang members, even flashing gang signs in pictures on their MySpace pages. Those sound like kids pretending to be in gangs. Those don't sound like real gangs.
Well, even if you think about your national gangs, they all started very small. They started on street corners.
Jenny and David didn't expect that street corner to be so close to home.
He died on our street in suburbia, where we paid $350,000 for a townhouse. In a neighborhood where our shutters have to match our doors.
Chris was buried last Wednesday, taking with him his dreams of becoming a police officer like his father.
David, you must have been incredibly proud that he wanted to follow in your footsteps.
Yes.
Did he ever talk to you about that?
2 parents who tried to do everything right, but whose son's life ended all wrong. For Good Morning America, Yunji Denise, ABC News, Crofton, Maryland.
The heartbreak is clear. The family wants you to take something away from this. There is no such thing as fake gang members. When there's a group of kids bent on violence and there's a victim involved, that is a gang. What do you think about this? Please go to abcnews.com, weigh in. You can get us on Twitter as well.